The Galactic Council chamber was packed with delegates from every corner of the universe. It was a historic day. Humanity was about to be officially welcomed into the interstellar community. Representatives from hundreds of species watched with curiosity, some with amusement, and a few with concern. The humans had arrived only a few decades ago, surprising the galaxy with their rapid space travel and fearless exploration. They weren't the strongest, the smartest, or the most advanced species, but they had something unsettling about them, an unpredictable nature that made the older civilizations uneasy. Ambassador James Carter stood before the council, dressed in his finest suit. He had practiced his speech 100 times, making sure it was diplomatic, respectful, and inspiring. But before he could even begin, an alien named Overlord Zorth from the Varlock Dominion stood up. "The weak species shall kneel before the great," Zorth announced, his deep voice echoing through the hall. "It is the natural order of the universe. Humanity, you are welcome, but know your place." A silence fell over the chamber. The human delegation blinked in confusion. The other species gasped in horror. A few even tried to leave the room quietly, not wanting to be part of what was about to happen. Carter, unaware of the tension, chuckled. "Well, that's not the warmest welcome, but we appreciate the honesty." Zorth crossed his forearms, his face showing clear annoyance. It was not a welcome. It was a statement of dominance. "You will submit, or we shall." The room trembled. The air itself seemed to change. A few alien diplomats instinctively ducked under their tables. Even the robotic species backed away. The moment had happened. The worst possible scenario. Overlord Zorth had unknowingly spoken an insult that, according to an ancient human treaty, was considered an official declaration of war. But the humans had no idea. A small insect-like alien whispered in terror, "They've done it. They've declared war on the deadliest species in the galaxy." Ambassador Carter, still smiling, held out his hand for a handshake. "Listen, no hard feelings. We're here to make friends, not enemies." Zorth scoffed. "Friends? This is war, human." "War?" Carter blinked. Then he laughed. "Oh, you must mean political drama. Yeah, we get that. Don't worry, Earth has plenty of that." The Galactic Council panicked. Murmurs turned into full-blown chaos. Species that had fought for centuries now huddled together, whispering desperate escape plans. Some even tried contacting their homeworlds to prepare for the worst. The humans, however, simply stood there, waiting for the next part of the ceremony. In the darkest corners of the galaxy, the most powerful empires, the greatest warriors, and the most ancient civilizations trembled. The war had begun, and only one side knew it. The Galactic Council chamber was in chaos. Whispers turned into shouts. Some delegates ran for the exits. Others tried to contact their home planets, warning them of the disaster that had just begun. A war had been declared, and not just any war, war against them. For thousands of years, the galaxy had one unspoken rule: do not anger humanity. Nobody knew the full history, but the warnings were clear. Ancient records mentioned civilizations that had crossed paths with humans. Those civilizations were now gone. Not a trace left. Not a single survivor. It was as if they had never existed. Overlord Zorth, the Varlock ambassador, stood frozen. He had spoken without thinking. He had insulted humanity. And now his entire species was doomed. The insect-like diplomat, Sikila, trembled in his seat. His people, the Catraxians, were a peaceful race that had survived by staying far away from human affairs. "We must stop this," he stammered. "There must be a way to surrender." The Galactic Chancellor, an elder being with shimmering blue skin, turned toward Zorth. "Do you understand what you have done?" Zorth's forearms twitched. I only meant to establish dominance," he said weakly. "How was I supposed to know?" "You don't establish dominance over humans," an old reptilian diplomat growled. "You survive them." Meanwhile, the humans were still standing at the center of the chamber, completely unaware of the panic around them. Ambassador James Carter scratched his head, exchanging confused glances with his team. Did we miss something?" he asked. One of his aides whispered, "Sir, everyone looks terrified. I think they misunderstood something." Carter cleared his throat and raised his hands. "Hey, everyone, let's calm down. I think there's been a miscommunication." To the aliens, those words were chilling. Miscommunication. Was that what the ancient records meant? Did humans always pretend to be friendly before they struck? Scylla quickly turned to his holographic tablet, searching for past records on human wars. He gasped at what he found. Humans fought against each other for thousands of years. Entire wars lasted over trivial disputes. Empires rose and fell. Even when there was no enemy, they fought amongst themselves just to improve their skills. They didn't need a reason for war. They treated it like a sport. And now, they had a reason. Scylla dropped the tablet. We must surrender immediately." Zarth clenched his fists. "We are the Varlock Dominion. We do not surrender." The Galactic Chancellor took a deep breath. "You will, or your people will disappear like the others." Zarth felt cold. He turned to look at the humans. Ambassador Carter smiled, still waiting for someone to explain the situation. The Varlock leader's voice cracked. How do we surrender?" The Chancellor closed his eyes. "We just have to hope they accept it." Back on the human side, Ambassador James Carter was still confused. The meeting had started as a celebration, but now, every alien in the room looked pale, anxious, or outright terrified. Some had even started shaking. Carter turned to his assistant, Lisa. "Did I say something wrong?" Lisa glanced around. The insect-like Scylla looked like he was about to faint. Overlord Zorth, who had been so confident before, was sweating through his armor. The Galactic Chancellor himself looked like he had just seen the end of the universe. Lisa whispered, "Sir, I think they're scared of us." Carter raised an eyebrow. "Scared? Of us? Why?" Before Lisa could answer, the Galactic Chancellor cleared his throat. His voice was slow, careful, almost shaking. "Ambassador Carter, we, the Galactic Council, formally request terms for surrender." Carter blinked. "Wait. Surrender?" The Chancellor gave a slow nod. "Yes, we, the United Galactic Community, accept our defeat. Please, show mercy." Carter's mouth opened, then closed. He looked at Lisa, hoping for some kind of explanation. Lisa, equally confused, just shrugged. Carter turned back to the aliens. Okay, let's slow down. First of all, we're not at war with anyone." A wave of gasps swept across the alien delegates. Whispers broke out. "They don't even consider it a war. This means they haven't even started yet. By the stars, we are doomed." Carter rubbed his temples. "Look, I think there's been a misunderstanding. Earth is here to make friends. We don't want war. We don't want anyone to surrender. We just want to work together." The Galactic Chancellor hesitated. His ancient mind had seen many things, but never had he heard an empire say such words. "You do not want war." "No," Carter said firmly. "We want trade, cooperation, and an occupation." An alien asked in a trembling voice. Carter groaned. "No, we just want to be part of the galaxy, like everyone else." A new kind of silence filled the room. The aliens stared at one another. Was this another tactic? Were the humans simply lulling them into a false sense of security? Scylla, the historian, was shaking his head. "They are giving us a chance to submit willingly," he whispered. "It is a mercy." Zarth, still stiff, forced himself to speak. And if we refuse?" Carter shrugged. "Then we just go back to normal. No big deal." Another collective gasp. No big deal. To the aliens, that phrase was worse than any threat. It meant humans didn't even consider them a challenge. It meant humanity was so powerful, war wasn't even necessary. The Galactic Chancellor, still pale, nodded. Then, we accept your friendship. Carter smiled. Great. I knew we'd get along. The galaxy, meanwhile, braced for the unknown. The moment the humans left the chamber, the Galactic Council erupted into chaos. Diplomats from hundreds of species shouted over one another. Some demanded emergency evacuations. Others begged for immediate peace talks. A few had already started writing their wills. Overlord Zarth slammed his fist on the table. We cannot just surrender like this. We are the Varlock Dominion. We have the largest fleet in the galaxy. Sekila, the insectoid historian, turned toward him with wide, terrified eyes. Your fleet is nothing, Overlord. Do you even understand who we are dealing with? Zarth scoffed. They didn't even threaten us. They just smiled and talked about trade. Sekila's voice trembled. And that is exactly why we should be afraid. The chamber fell silent. The Galactic Chancellor, still pale from the encounter, nodded. I agree. The humans made no demands, no threats. That is the most terrifying response imaginable. It means they don't see us as a challenge. They are not interested in conquest because they do not need to conquer. A reptilian delegate from the Tarn Republic spoke up, his voice shaking. The ancient records say every species that fought against humans disappeared. What if we are next? An avian diplomat flapped her wings nervously. Then what do we do? What does humanity want? The Galactic Chancellor sighed. They claim they want trade and cooperation. Earth growled. And you believe them? The Chancellor looked around at the panicked faces in the room. What choice do we have? A deep silence filled the chamber. Sekila cleared his throat. If we refuse their offer of friendship, they may see us as enemies. If we accept, we might survive. We must agree to their terms before they change their minds. One of the elder races, a being made of living crystal, hummed in agreement. Then we must act fast. We cannot let humanity grow suspicious. We must sign treaties, offer trade, and give them whatever they want. The other delegates nodded in fear. Zarth, still unwilling to accept defeat, clenched his fists. And if we refuse? The Chancellor turned to him, his voice cold. Then I hope your dominion enjoys its final days. Zarth opened his mouth to argue but found no words. He sat down, defeated. The Galactic Chancellor stood, addressing the Council. Then it is decided. We will offer humanity complete cooperation. Whatever they ask for, we will give. We will sign trade agreements, open our borders, and ensure that humanity sees us as allies, not enemies. A collective nod passed through the chamber. It was settled. The war was over before it had even begun. While the Galactic Council rushed to secure peace with humanity, a historian named Sekila sat alone in his study, surrounded by ancient data records. His insectoid fingers trembled as he scrolled through files that had not been accessed for centuries. He had to know the truth. Humanity had appeared in the galactic scene only a few decades ago, and yet every species seemed to fear them instinctively. Why? What had they done? The official records contain nothing but warnings. No details, no battle reports, no explanations. Just silence. Sekila's antennae twitched as he activated a classified archive, hidden deep within the Galactic Council's restricted files. At first, the screen flickered, then displayed the words, Do note he Provoked. Beneath those words, there were strange reports, stories that sounded impossible. A species that survives on a planet of death. Humans evolved on Earth, a world filled with deadly diseases, extreme climates, and constant natural disasters. Unlike other species who hid from danger, humanity adapted. They survived droughts, storms, and even mass extinctions. They do not surrender. Sekila found a record of an ancient war between two great empires. Both were far more advanced than humans. One day, a single human colony was caught in their conflict. That colony should have fallen in days. Instead, it fought for decades. By the time the war ended, the empires had collapsed. The human colony, still standing. They fight each other to get stronger. Most civilizations formed peaceful alliances after achieving space travel. Humanity, however, had spent its entire history fighting itself. Wars, conflicts, competitions. Humans fought for resources, for honor, for ideas, and sometimes just to see who was better. It was madness. And yet, it worked. Because of this constant struggle, humans became stronger, faster, and more adaptable than any other race in the galaxy. While others avoided war, humans trained for it. Scylla felt his exoskeleton grow cold. The final file in the archive was a transmission from an unknown species, one that no longer existed. The message was only 3 words long. "We made a mistake." Scylla shut off the display and sat in silence. The galaxy had done the right thing. The Council had acted just in time. If they had gone to war against humans, they would have been wiped out before they even understood what had happened. A knock on the door made Scylla jump. An assistant entered. "Sir, the Council is preparing to send humanity the official peace agreement. They want your opinion on the wording." Scylla swallowed hard and stood. There is no need for fancy words. Just make sure it's clear. Clear. Yes. Scylla took a deep breath. Ambassador James Carter sat in his office, sipping his coffee and reviewing reports. Ever since humanity had joined the Galactic Council, things had been strange. Trade agreements were coming in faster than expected. Alien governments were offering deals that seemed almost too generous. Some even sent gifts. Rare minerals, advanced technology, and even entire planets, as a symbol of goodwill. Carter scratched his head. "Lisa, does this seem weird to you?" His assistant, Lisa, looked up from her tablet. "You mean the fact that every species in the galaxy suddenly wants to be our best friend?" "Exactly." Carter put down his coffee. "I mean, I expected some excitement, but this, the Varlock Dominion, one of the most aggressive empires out there, just sent us a message calling us their respected allies." Lisa scrolled through her reports. "It's not just them. The Xarn Republic reduced all trade taxes for humans to 0. The Catraxians have offered us unlimited access to their research labs. Even the Galactic Chancellor himself sent you a handwritten letter." Carter blinked. "A letter?" Lisa nodded. "It says, 'We humbly accept your friendship and look forward to a peaceful future. Please do not hesitate to let us know if you need anything at all.'" Carter leaned back in his chair. "Lisa, did we accidentally conquer the galaxy?" Lisa sighed. "I don't think so, but it sure looks like they think we did." Carter frowned. "Why would they be scared of us? We've never attacked anyone. We've been nothing but polite." Lisa hesitated. "Well, there are rumors." "Rumors." Lisa lowered her voice. "Some of the aliens think we're unstoppable. There are stories that every species that fought humanity in the past just disappeared." Carter laughed. "That's ridiculous. We've barely had contact with other civilizations." Lisa shrugged. "I know, but they don't. They've built up this legend that humanity is some kind of ancient force of destruction." Carter rubbed his temples. "Great. So now, every species in the galaxy thinks we're galactic overlords just because we're good at surviving." Lisa nodded. "Pretty much." Carter sighed. "All right. We need to fix this. Let's set up meetings, clear up misunderstandings, and make sure everyone knows we're not some unstoppable war machine." Lisa hesitated. "Are you sure that's a good idea?" Carter frowned. "Why wouldn't it be?" Lisa tapped her tablet. "Because the moment they stop fearing us, they might test us." A heavy silence filled the room. Carter exhaled. "Okay, new plan." He picked up his coffee again. "We accept their friendship, take the trade deals, and keep smiling." Lisa smirked. "So, Just go along with it. Carter grinned. Exactly. If they think we're the scariest species in the galaxy, who are we to argue? Across the galaxy, governments scrambled to secure humanity's favor. Trade routes were opened, borders were relaxed, and entire industries reshaped their policies to please their new overlords. The strangest part, the humans had no idea. Ambassador James Carter and his team were flooded with diplomatic invitations. Alien leaders insisted on signing treaties, offering valuable resources, and even apologizing for things humanity didn't know about. Carter rubbed his temples as Lisa handed him another document. What is it this time? Lisa sighed. The Varlock Dominion is offering us exclusive access to their fleet shipyards, for free. Carter nearly spit out his coffee. Wait, their shipyards. The same Varlock Dominion that once called us primitive. Lisa nodded. Yep. They even added a note saying, "We humbly recognize humanity's superior strength and wish to serve." Carter groaned. Lisa, I don't get it. We've done nothing to deserve this treatment. Why are they acting like we just conquered them? Lisa hesitated. It's the stories, sir. They think we're some kind of hidden superpower. Carter rubbed his face. So what do we do? Do we tell them the truth? Lisa bit her lip. If we do, they might stop fearing us, and that could be dangerous. Carter sighed. So our options are, 1. Let the galaxy keep thinking we're unstoppable, or 2. Tell the truth and risk someone testing us. Lisa nodded. Pretty much. Carter groaned. Fine. We keep the act going. For now. Just then, a notification appeared on Lisa's tablet. She read it and froze. Carter noticed her expression. What now? Lisa gulped. The Catraxians just declared humanity as their eternal protectors. Carter blinked. Wait. What? Lisa showed him the message. They're dissolving their military and entrusting their planetary defense to us. Carter's jaw dropped. We don't even control them. Lisa sighed. We do now. Carter stared at the message, then shook his head. This is getting out of hand. Lisa chuckled. Sir, I think it's already out of hand. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, alien leaders nervously awaited humanity's response. Would the humans accept their loyalty? Would they demand more? The answer came in the form of a simple, polite message from Earth. We gladly accept this friendship and look forward to working together. To humanity, it was just good diplomacy. To the galaxy, it was a declaration of dominance. And so, without firing a single shot, humanity's accidental empire grew even larger. Ambassador James Carter sat at his desk, staring at the latest reports. Trade agreements, resource allocations, defense pacts, all signed in humanity's favor. Lisa walked in, holding a datapad. Sir, the Xarn Republic just renamed their capital city to New Terra in honor of humanity. Carter groaned. Of course they did. Lisa smirked. Oh, and the Galactic Council officially requested the humans oversee peacekeeping operations across the galaxy. Carter raised an eyebrow. Peacekeeping. That's just a fancy way of saying they want us to be in charge. Lisa nodded. Yep. Carter leaned back in his chair. Lisa, we were supposed to join the Galactic Council as equals. How did we end up running the whole thing? Lisa chuckled. By accident, sir. Carter sighed. This was getting out of control. Every species in the galaxy now saw humanity as an unstoppable force. Alien governments were willingly giving up power, asking for Earth's leadership, and bending over backward to stay in humanity's good graces. And the worst part, humanity never asked for any of it. Carter tapped the desk. Okay, we need a strategy. If we keep accepting everything, we'll become the rulers of the galaxy without even trying. Lisa smirked. That doesn't sound so bad. Carter gave her a look. It's a huge responsibility. The more power we have, the more problems we have to solve. Lisa sighed. So, what do we do? Carter thought for a moment. We start delegating. If the galaxy wants our leadership, fine, but we're not doing all the work. We set up a system where every species helps manage things. That way, it's not just humans in charge." Lisa nodded. "A united government, with humanity as the guiding force." Carter shrugged. "Better than being actual dictators." Lisa smiled. "And they'll still think we're in charge, won't they?" Carter smirked. "Probably." Just then, a new message arrived. Carter read it and froze. Lisa frowned. "What now?" Carter looked up, his face pale. "The Galactic Council just offered Earth the official title of Supreme Galactic Authority." Lisa's eyes widened. "They want to make us the rulers of the galaxy." Carter took a deep breath. Humanity had started as a simple newcomer to the stars. Now the entire galaxy was offering itself on a silver platter. And the craziest part, Ambassador James Carter stared at the screen, reading the message again. "The Galactic Council formally offers Earth the title of Supreme Galactic Authority. We recognize humanity as the rightful leaders of the known universe." Carter rubbed his temples. "Lisa, we have a problem." Lisa raised an eyebrow. "Sir, we've had a problem since the day the galaxy decided we were their overlords." Carter sighed. "No, this is worse. They're not just treating us like leaders anymore. They're officially giving us control." Lisa leaned forward. "So, what do we do?" Carter exhaled. "If we accept, humanity becomes responsible for every decision in the galaxy. Every war, every dispute, every crisis. It all becomes our problem." Lisa nodded. "And if we refuse?" Carter frowned. "That's the real issue. If we refuse, they might think we're testing them. That we're waiting for them to prove themselves." Lisa's eyes widened. "Which means some idiot might do something stupid." Carter nodded. "Exactly. We've been trying to avoid war, but if they think we're playing some kind of power game, someone might challenge us." Lisa shook her head. "So we're stuck. We can't accept full control, and we can't refuse outright." Carter leaned back, deep in thought. Then, a slow smile spread across his face. "What if," he said, "we accept, but with conditions?" Lisa blinked. "Conditions?" Carter nodded. "We tell them that humanity values cooperation. That true strength comes from unity. Instead of ruling alone, we humbly accept leadership only if every species takes responsibility together." Lisa's eyes lit up. "A galactic federation." Carter smirked. "Exactly. We make them think it was their idea. That we're not taking power, but sharing it." Lisa grinned. "That's brilliant. They'll still see us as leaders, but we won't have to micromanage the whole galaxy." Carter nodded. "It's the best option we've got." Just then, another message came in. "The Xarn Republic. We eagerly await humanity's command. The Varlock Dominion. We stand ready to serve. The Catraxians. We pledge eternal loyalty." Carter took a deep breath. "All right. Let's send our response." Lisa typed as Carter spoke. "Humanity is honored by your trust. However, true leadership is not about ruling alone, but guiding together. Let us unite, not as rulers and subjects, but as equals. Together, we will shape a better future." Lisa hit send. A moment later, replies flooded in. "A wise decision. Humanity is truly benevolent. We shall follow your example." Carter leaned back and sighed in relief. They had done it. Humanity had avoided war, secured peace, and created a united galaxy, all without firing a single shot. And the best part, months had passed since humanity's proposal, and the galaxy had changed forever. What was once a chaotic mix of rival empires, fragile alliances, and endless conflicts had now become a galactic federation, a united council of species working together. And at its center, humanity. Ambassador James Carter stood at the Federation's Grand Assembly Hall, looking out at the countless alien representatives seated before him. From towering reptilian warlords to small feathered scholars, they all watched him with a mix of admiration, respect, and just a little bit of fear. Lisa leaned over and whispered, "Sir, I think they're waiting for your speech." Carter cleared his throat and stepped forward. 1,000 eyes focused on him. "Friends," he began, "today marks the beginning of a new era." Murmurs of agreement spread through the hall. For too long, our galaxy has been divided by fear and misunderstanding. But now we stand together, not as conquerors and conquered, not as rulers and subjects, but as allies. The murmurs grew louder. Some alien leaders nodded, others tapped their claws or tails in approval. "We do not seek power," Carter continued. "We do not seek to control. Humanity believes that true strength comes from unity, and together we are stronger than any of us could be alone." The room fell silent. Then, one by one, the alien representatives stood up. Some raised their hands, others lifted their tendrils, wings, or appendages in salute. Then the chant began. "Humanity leads. The galaxy follows." Lisa leaned over again, whispering, "I thought we were going for equals." Carter sighed. "We tried." Lisa smirked. "Well, at least they're happy." As Carter looked at the gathered species, once enemies, now allies, he realized something. Humanity hadn't just joined the galactic stage. They had become its center. Not through war, not through conquest, but through something far more powerful: respect.